Hello and welcome to chapter 191 of the DC Alliance podcast. With me, as always, is Joe. Joe, how you doing this evening?
Not too shabby. I think last week I stated that I'll be on strike. UAW is on strike. My plant is not currently on strike. I think that's actually it might come this week. I don't know. We'll
Ooh,
see. It's been
maybe-
our new UAW president has he's trying something different with the way this strike is being handled. And I think it's actually smarter.
Okay.
For example, apparently everybody thought that some of the higher end plants, like higher end, like actually putting out vehicles at a higher pace, were going to go on strike. So the company started moving parts from some of the bigger plants to a lot of the smaller ones.
Yeah.
um, and so while parts were being moved shipped over there, those were the plants that got struck, that went on strike.
Ooh.
So those other parts, like perfect example, like the example is there was parts coming from Spring Hill, Tennessee, going to Wentzville, Missouri, and Wentzville went on strike. So the parts that were going to Wentzville just sat there because the truck drivers were not going to
Cross the picket
cross the picket
lines.
lines. So it kind of that GM kind of I don't want to say GM, but the company kind of screwed themselves over, and so Spring Hill had to idle for a little bit because parts were over here instead of being over here. So
Oh, that's hilarious.
it's a fun thing to see, but at the same time, as my girlfriend has stated, like she feels like we are in a hostage situation because
Yeah,
we don't know when we're going to go out on strike.
which is
So
tough. But you
I
deserve
look,
the
I'm just
wages. You deserve a
oh
wage increase. When
yeah,
you look at
there was
the profits, it doesn't make any sense. And inflation, it just makes no sense why
exactly.
you wouldn't raise
There
the.
was somebody on Twitter who was trying to say like, "Oh, I don't know what these companies, especially I think just specifically GMs, like I don't know what they're whining about. If you have like a in progression person making, I think it came out to be like 117,000 a year, traditional 140, skilled trades 170 71,000, like and allegedly he put in like the health insurance and all this other stuff. But if you get the common person to just look at that, I'm not bringing home 140,000 a year. I'm barely
No.
making. I mean, I'm getting about 80,000 a year, but like take home. Well,
Yeah.
like at the end of it all, I'm getting about that much. So the problem is that the optics is people are trying to make it out like we are just asking for the moon and or asking for the impossible, when in reality it's I'm sorry, I'm only making 100. If 141,000 a year is wrong, my CEO is making 111,000 a day.
Yeah. It's just that their
So
price has gone
I'm
up.
asking for 140. Like that's a problem. But that's not really what. Again, that's not what I'd be asking for. It's
No, it's just your wages have not gone up to the
correct.
appropriate
Over
rate.
since the GM alone, because I work for General Motors, they in 2008 they was during the crisis, there was not a strike, but they gave up a lot of concessions because GM basically said if the union members don't help out, the company's gonna fold. So the
Mhm.
union members back then gave up a lot of stuff, and GM was like, "Hey, we'll get them. You guys will get them back over the years."
Nope.
It's been 15 years,
Also,
and none of that stuff has came back.
those same people went and begged to government for handouts during that
Twice,
crisis, and
2008, and I
who
think in
fund all that? The
2013.
taxpayer. So in the
Yeah,
end, it's double getting screwed, and it
correct.
just
How
sucks.
are you? So besides my financial whatever strife, how are you doing?
I'm doing okay. Back to work. I debated today taking a new job.
New
For
position?
all of different things, social worker assistance, just going through like the accounting of that. But I didn't really want to do that because I got it really good where I'm to. I have quite flexible schedule. I can work through my lunch and get home early to see my kid. This would have been an extra 30-ish minutes commute to and from work.
Okay.
So I have like 5 minutes right now. I have everything down to a science. With an extra, the money I would have made extra would have kind of been burned up in gas. So it didn't really make
Don't you
any
hate
sense
that?
to do it. And I'm like, you know what? No, I got it really good here. I wish I could be working from home. I eventually think I will be, but I'm gonna hunker in. So I just had that dilemma today, and besides that, did up the show notes, watched the Aquaman trailer a second time, and
Yeah, I
and
meant to do that. I totally forgot.
got
But
ready.
we're gonna
Well,
watch it here in a
we're
minute.
gonna watch
So
it here, right through. But before we do all that, Joe, let's get the network plugs out of the way. We are part of the Geek Ultimate Alliance with 7 shows in total. On Mondays, bi-weekly is Ranger Alliance. On Tuesdays is DC Alliance. On Wednesdays is the Animation Nation. On Thursdays is Star Wars Alliance. On Fridays is Marvel Alliance. On Saturdays, bi-weekly is a walk through the multiverse. And Sundays monthly is World's Finest True Believers. DC Alliance goes live on the Geekverse YouTube channel Mondays at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Star Wars Alliance goes live Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, and Marvel Alliance goes live Thursdays at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. All 3 of those shows also have their own podcast feeds. Search Marvel Alliance, DC Alliance, or Star Wars Alliance if you just want Marvel content, DC content, or Star Wars content only. But if you want all 7 shows on the G-Way Podcast Network, stay subscribed to the G-Way on your podcast app of choice. We also have a Patreon, 2 tiers, a $1 tier and a $5 tier. The $1 tier is basically a tip jar. You like what we're doing, you want to help us out any way you can. And the $5 tier is where you get your extras. You get your ad-free episodes, early access episodes, and Patreon exclusive episodes like DC films through the years, where myself and Joe go through all the DC films through the years since Batman 66 and up until now. We have done some TV movies as well. Our latest one was Steel, Shaq's amazing performance,
epic.
epic performance. And we have on deck A Road to Perdition, which I'm really excited to talk to Joe about. I watched that film. We were supposed to do that this weekend. The power had a different say we got the tail end of hurricane.
What time did your power come back on?
I think it was 3:47 exactly, if I'm being, because I was out there sweeping up the dock here, and then I'll click down, I looked up and pulled out my phone at the same time, and that's exactly what it was.
Nice.
So no, didn't lose any food or anything, which was nice. That's the main thing.
Good.
But it was honestly more wind than anything that did it. We didn't get a whole lot of rain. It was like a downpour for a solid hour, and that was it. So besides that, it wasn't too bad. But yeah, that'll be our next film for this month. We will get that one. I can't wait to talk to Joe about that, because that's one I'd never watched before, and I have some thoughts on that one, Joe. I have some thoughts.
I didn't rewatch it before because I had notes. I literally just watched it like 2 months ago, but I might rewatch it just in case.
Very different if you're going to DC.
Very different. I mean, and we'll get into it. But
we'll get into it.
Yeah, we'll get into it.
And we have the Marvel Alliance guys, Chris and Brent, doing their Infinity Saga rewatch. So stick with them as they cover the entirety of the Infinity Saga. And we have Joe's Multiverse Minutes, which, Joe, what is your Halloween special called? Because I've been calling it various things, and I said you were going to actually
Chris,
say
and
the
I love
proper
it.
name.
I love hearing you guys just like not say the right name. It's Multiverse Minutes, 30 plus days of Halloween.
Okay.
And it starts next week, next Sunday.
Ooh.
So if you guys are interested for the $5 tier on the Patreon, you'll be able to hear, and it's just like quick 10-minute talk of me of what I've watched and just what I thought of the movie. I had
really enjoyable and helped.
I had some last year. I enjoyed it. I want to do it again, and it's a lot of these movies are movies I haven't seen.
Ooh, that's different than last year, because a lot of them were movies you had seen.
Some of them. There was a giant. It was probably more that I had seen last year than this year. I think this year is going to be a lot of.
Ooh.
For example, I'm watching the Halloween movies this year, and I've only seen. Well, I thought I'd seen 3 of them out of the 13. I've only actually.
There's 13 of them.
If you include the Rob Zombie and the Rob Zombie ones, there was 6 originally. Then there was the 2 like 20 and like H2O and then Resurrection, and then Rob Zombies 2, and then the final 3 that just came out. So yeah, there's a lot.
I think I remember watching one, and none of the new ones. The one where the guy with the beard and the old guy who was like the expert on Michael Myers and was a doctor. I can't remember.
I don't know.
Anyway,
But we'll get to it.
yes,
I'll say this. Have some hot takes on those.
I'm very excited to hear those because they'll remind me. I only watched one, and maybe I'll only never watch another one. I'll be curious to hear your thoughts. So yeah, we have
I'll be
those.
covering them all.
We have those on the Patreon. So thank you for all the people that are Patreon's supporters. But if you're not, if you can take a quick 30 to 60 seconds to rate and review the podcast on your podcast app of choice, it's greatly appreciated. It helps other people find the show, and that's always a good thing. Okay, Joe, we got some content. We
Yeah.
got some actual, honest to goodness content. We have a trailer.
I mean, we knew that was coming out. It just happened to come out, not
Somehow, when
the
it was
day that we were
DC,
recording.
I thought that it might like not come out accidentally or something. Oh, we made a mistake. Like our DC films announcement, like this was not actually coming out this week. Sorry, guys. Uh,
That
but
was on you.
no, we got an Aquaman trailer, and I for one am very excited to talk about this with Joe. We're going to watch it through once for the YouTube people watching with us, obviously with the audio off, and then we're going to go back and break this down shot by shot, just talking about what we like and what we dislike. So I'm going to share my screen here. Just give me a second.
Yep. I meant to go back and listen to Chris's take on this, so I can basically repeat what he said for Marvel Alliance.
He
But I forgot.
he kind of left it. He basically started practicing his character he's going to bring on for our show.
Yeah.
That was essentially part of,
Wonderful.
which
Thank you
was
for that, Chris.
it was fantastic. Uh, and what Joe was alluding to was I filled in for Brent on Marvel Alliance last week, and to open the show, Chris showed the first 30 seconds of the trailer because it dropped on Thursday, of course, not on Monday, the night of our show. So we had a little fun with that. So Joe, do you have the screen shared?
Yep, screen's up there. Yep,
go.
ready to go.
Okay, and fitting WB as an iceberg.
Got that right.
A couple things that could be said there. Okay, we're gonna just go through this. And again, this
Reshot from the first movie. This movie's gonna suck.
Props to you for catching that. Props to you for catching that. Oh, look, me and Aquaman have one thing in common.
You say props to me for catching that, but literally was online.
Oh, well, I didn't see it. You could have passed it off for me that time.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do that. You know that, not me.
The
visuals. So we get to see Aquaman obviously being a dad, having a baby, basically having a moment with his dad, which is kind of nice. Yeah, the him. You want to rewind that real quick?
Some of the visuals, Joe, are fantastic in this. We see
like
him
when he's fighting the whatever ship that is. That looked amazing.
And I have it stopped here where Aquaman's walking out to clothesline pins. I know some people have kind of poo-pooed the humor in this, but I do think it's relatively in line with the first Aquaman film.
Oh, definitely.
They're keeping up with continuity. If you didn't like that, if you want him to be Mr. Somber, he's more somber in like Zack Snyder's Justice League, for example. He's not as quippy. I kind of enjoy this. I like the suit, the different color, the different take. So I enjoyed the first Aquaman, so I don't have any problem with him like having his clothes out on the line or anything like that. I kind of think that's pretty funny.
And all of this is gonna be in the beginning of the movie. Like, let's be honest, it's gonna be the. I'm sure he'll be joking throughout the whole thing.
The hero recap.
But yeah, it's just gonna be him having like, oh well, I guess I'm a dad now, and I'm just gonna do all these dad things. And who better to have all this dad stuff than Jason Momoa? Come on, guys.
And he keeps referring to being king as a job too, which I don't know if that is more like a role that you have. This is an epic shot of him here standing up with the Tron. Cool. It looks fantastic. Again, I love the CG from the first film. I thought the underwater visuals were fantastic, and I'm excited to see what Juan does going forward.
I'm thinking this will be the final moment after he wins, him just addressing Atlantis or something. I think this will be at the end of the movie.
I have a hot take that I'm going to hold for the end of the trailer here that we watched. I have a hot take. So yeah, we zoom out and we see another gorgeous shot of Atlantis and the animals
The
species.
whales. Those are whales.
The whales. I know they're whales. There's other things here. One thing I thought was cool, Joe. They have jellyfish as lanterns.
Yeah, that's really rude to the jellyfish, if we're being honest.
They're not really.
They're on a string. They're being hung up. Like, wow, man. Jellyfish
To be
rights.
honest, actually, I don't think they're on a string. I think they're just floating like that.
No. Do you not see the string right there? They're on the hook. Come on, man. Jellyfish rights.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's canceled. Film canceled.
Film's canceled.
So
I'm trying to bring out my inner Chris here.
we have the
seeing the Atlanteans here, and you're getting a bunch of different looking species. I'm assuming these are all Atlanteans, right?
Yeah, the different tribes, or the kingdoms. Sorry, the different kingdoms coming together.
There we go. Yeah, like this, kind of cool. I like it.
I enjoy it as well. And we have here we go.
Oh,
this is what I think is going to make this film stand out for me. We have Aquaman's arch nemesis here, Black Manta, out for total vengeance. And honestly, one of the rare times where I can't really fault him for wanting to kill Aquaman.
No,
like he has the perfect motivation.
Did you not watch the movie?
He left him and his father. He could have saved them, as the good hero would do, save both of them, and let them live to. Superman would have saved them both and fly them away.
Sure.
But
he brought this on himself. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. So he just
Black Manta brought this on himself. That's what I'm saying. Like it's all his. This is his dad's own doing. He shot a rocket in a sub. Why would you do that?
You were trying to rob a place too.
Exactly. Nah. Like I'm just kidding. His motivation here, yeah, it makes perfect sense. Like he could have saved them, but that wasn't awkward. Like that was just Jason Momoa being selfish.
And it looks like he's covered in snow here, and I think that's where he gets the black trident that he has a little bit later on in this trailer.
He's definitely looking for something.
He gets it up there, and this seems like to be the continuation from the post-credit scene too, of like him with Dr. Stephen Chen.
Do we see Chen?
Yeah, we see Chen for a quick second. Okay. This is one of
because during the teaser I had speculated that was Chen in the little like machine. But we just saw Black Manta, and that thing.
Well, there's multiple, so maybe there's one.
There
could be another. I think there's 2 or 3 that go after Orm here. We get a couple. We get Queen Atlanta taking off, and we get the basically Black Manta saying, "I'm going to murder his family, going to take everything that he has and holds dear, and burn his kingdom to ash." And we get a shot here of the lighthouse. Now we gotta be the sleuths that we are. I see Dad right here.
Yep.
I see several people over here, like running up to the thing as well, the birding building. So I'm not sure. I hope it seems like he's out there with Baby. So I'm a little nervous, Joe. I'm a little nervous for baby Aquaman here.
You know what's funny is that the lighthouse is gone, but it's still a lighthouse.
Yeah. Oh. You win for that one. That was a good one.
I did.
So yeah, and then we get Black Manta here, just destroying.
That looked amazing, dude. That looks awesome.
Far more powerful here, destroying various ships just with his beam. He's upgraded for sure. Aquaman even says that. Atlanta's saying he must be stopped, and you can see the green coursing through him.
Yeah, because he's a Green Lantern now.
I did think the spear of kryptonite from like he got a full version of what Ben Affleck had just for a second, but. No, it is. I think it's like the sword of the trodden of the damned. Orm says after.
Oh, okay.
So it's like soulless people, I'm assuming. And here's where we get another thing. This is a nod to 86 Aquaman run. He had a stealth suit in that, and apparently, if you just go back just a little tiny bit to it before it reveals, there's a shadow. The shadow never goes away. Even because apparently it's just coral, this different kind of like material that reflects off light and enables him to disappear, but you still get the shadow down to the bottom of his feet. That doesn't go away. His shadow doesn't.
I'm wondering if if it's only showing up now because he is starting to come out of it. I'm wondering if in the movie his shadow will be there or not. Because if he has a shadow, not quite very stealthy.
No, not very stealthy. So I'm assuming that's just something they forgot to take out. But right now, that's
again, because he is coming out of being invisible, it could purposely show.
and then we get some
Yeah, I
just
don't know what the hell that guy is. But that looks cool.
well, he's a guard for
Oh, that
uh,
makes sense for
that's
Orm.
Orm right there that he finds, and Orm hits the water for a couple seconds, and he comes out absolutely shredded.
Yeah.
Uh, I do like this. This is I'm going to enjoy this relationship. I think basically
Yeah,
Arthur trying to get
100%.
Orm to be on his side slash open up, let's be
Which
brothers.
is not different than the comics. In the comics, yes, they were enemies for a long time, but in the more recent runs, Orm and Aquaman have been working together. Not a lot, but enough to where they respect each other.
And again, he's like, "Don't call me brother." And Arthur's trying to give it a high five, and Orm's like, "I can't believe you let this happen." And Arthur again refers to being king as a job, and I hate this job. And Orm says,
So
"True
obviously,
kings
by the
real
end of it,
bridges."
yeah, obviously by the end of it, he will embrace being a king. But it's also one of those things where in the comics, uh, he's a man of two worlds, and he's not liked in either. Even though he's
No,
the ruler of Atlantis,
well, he mentions that here at the start of the trailer too, that the people of Atlantis don't quite like him either.
correct.
And I do like here how Orm's telling him true kings build bridges, and he just knocks over the giant statue to make a bridge for them to
I
cross,
mean, he builds a bridge.
and laughs at it. I do really. It's just pure Jason Momoa. We get Black Manta here, just again, like they're saying, bigger and stronger, just blowing shit up. And the Trident, it shows King Atlan's time where he faces off against someone that was wielding that Trident as well.
I do love history lessons.
Yes, and you see him slice his arm off. It looks like there, and yeah, that's what I
The
mean by the
trench.
undead there.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well,
Joe, you can
undead
see
or see, I thought that
kind of
was the.
looks like a. I
Oh,
don't think that's
yeah,
quite the
that's more
trench.
undead than the trench. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, so the Trident's dark magic is spreading and stuff that they start to say here, and it was cracked off, and he just reattaches it, and that's such a cool shot of Black Manta standing over the lighthouse falling apart and
Yep.
just cheering with all the beings it has there. We get a good fight scene there between Aquaman and Black Manta. It's total like just vengeance tour for Black Manta, and I'm ready to see it. I didn't like that shot at all. Well,
Whoop, that shot. That's DC.
this when
The shot
Arthur's
where
throwing,
he's throwing the punch.
we'll see it here now. Most of this stuff you could pause and it doesn't look so bad, but this is one of those ones I didn't enjoy it as much. Uh,
Hmm.
we get again Aquaman, the scene here, him under the Arctic Ocean, just using the power of the Trident.
Yeah.
The
Hey,
only
look,
shot
Mira.
Mira, we got to go back for that. The only shot of Mira here, uh, trying to punch the glass. Will she die? Not sure. She has qualms about how much she was using this, but Juan says it always was supposed to be about an Arthur Orm story.
Yeah,
So
I mean, I don't know.
we get
Him, seahorse, and
just a couple great visuals here,
big quick. Yeah, a lot of quick scenes there.
mishmash of visuals. So going to come out of this with my hot take now, Joe. I think that by the end of the second movie, Orm will be Arthur will give Orm the reins to the kingdom. Let him be king. I can see that happening
I can
just
see that
from how
happening
many
too.
times Arthur is referring to it as a job, and you know, I do think so. Especially possible of not seeing another Aquaman. I could totally see that.
Now, did they? They haven't done reshoots, or
Uh,
they did.
they
They
did,
did reshoots. Yeah,
yes,
because this movie was supposed to be out last year. That's right.
yeah.
Um. Okay, and obviously, they did everything before the strike and all that. What's up, Andrew?
Andrew
Um.
and Andrew says, Travis, I still haven't gotten over that Marvel Alliance appearance last week. I don't know why, Andrew, because besides anyone that's ever co-hosted the show, I'm pretty sure I've had the most guest appearances from anyone not ever been a co-host of Marvel Alliance, not including Travis Snell or Brant. I might be wrong with that. Chris, correct me, but I do think so.
I say
So
I was only ever on the movie reviews.
I've been on a few, so you may see me again, Andrew. Well, actually, you will see me again because
Yeah, it's
I'll
already
be
been
there
said.
Thursday.
Yeah, come on.
I'll be there Thursday. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I can see it. I can see your. I don't know if that's actually a hot take. But I don't know. It'd be interesting. But yeah, you're
I
right. If since we know there's no more coming, why not just be like, all right, Orm, you can be the ruler now. I don't want to be it. I want
yeah,
to go
like
take care of my kid because his mom is dead. Wink,
yeah,
wink.
there you go. Or I lost my arm having to I had to sacrifice my arm to keep this kid alive, so I'm gonna go
I
take
mean,
care of this
look, if
kid.
they go hook hand
Because
Aquaman, that'd be
there were
awesome.
a lot of rumors, Joe, of actually before I talk about the rumors, we're going to take our first ad break. Listeners, we're an ad support network. We don't pick the ads or the volume. I'm going to give you a quick 3 count to adjust your volume, and we'll be right back in 3, 2, 1. And we're back. Okay, Joe. As per the rumors of the test screenings, a lot of people not liking the test screenings, a lot of people walking out of the test screenings. You know what would make people do all that? Dead baby. Dead baby would make people not like a film. Baby being killed. We also have horror aficionado James Wan, so I don't think he would have very many qualms about this because I did read that in the comics, Black Manta was directly responsible for Aqualad dying. Or Aqua
I
Boy or
mean,
whatever we're calling.
you're sure, but this is also comics we're talking about, and they got better.
I know. I'm just hoping that they don't drop on that. I'd rather see him. I'd love to see him lose his arm and have the hook, like the giant spear
Hmm.
type thing. That would be amazing to see. So I'm hoping we get something like that. I don't know if we will, but there were a lot of complaints about the like people with the test screening. So I'm just wondering because this looks fantastic to me. This looks like the perfect continuation of the first film.
I also feel like if well, no, I shouldn't say that. I was gonna say like if they do kill the baby, um, Arthur would be stricken with grief and wouldn't do anything. But honestly, he would actually be stricken with hatred and go
Hmm.
kill Black
Yeah.
Manta.
Oh,
So
100%. So let me read the synopsis.
okay.
Joe, having failed to defeat Aquaman the first time, Black Manta, still driven by the need to avenge his father's death, will stop at nothing to take Aquaman down once and for all. This time, Black Manta is more formidable than ever before, wielding the power of the mythic Black Trident, which unleashes an ancient and malevolent force. To defeat him, Aquaman will turn to his imprisoned brother Orm, the former king of Atlantis, to forge an unlikely alliance. Together, they must set aside their differences in order to protect their kingdom and save Aquaman's family and the world from irreversible destruction.
So that doesn't sound like Dead Baby because I would
No.
assume actually what it sounds like is Baby gets captured by uh, Black Manta. Lighthouse goes on fire, gets put on fire, and yeah, he has to go find Black Manta to get his kid back. Um, I mean, it definitely doesn't sound like Dead Baby in the beginning.
You know what sounds like Dead Baby to me?
What's that?
The screen that I'm.
This screen right here.
Yeah.
How's the wife and kid?
Hmm.
Uh
I laughed so hard when I saw that. Black Manta standing up over the burning lighthouse, and that was again such a great shot. Joe, I hope that's not the case. I don't really want to see that. Like I thought the cool shots with the kid, him just taking care of the kid. I thought that was fantastic. So I'm just hoping.
let me put it to you this way. I went and saw Knock at the Cabin
Hmm.
with the intention of seeing a child get her head blown off
Oh,
because
thank you for
that's what
that.
happens in the book. I mean, she doesn't get her head blown off; she gets shot and killed. But that didn't happen in the movie. Spoiler alert for a movie that's a year old. Um, so who knows?
Again, there was a couple other things that dropped as well with this. There was an official poster, which essentially is just Aquaman walking out of the ocean. And I will say, I think it was Travis Snell said it in the GUA chat above the tagline above the poster. It's the tide is turning, and he said it's like another version of the hierarchy of power is about to change in the
Uh huh.
DC
Uh huh.
universe.
Uh huh.
I don't think it's as wordy as that. Sounds a lot better. That was one of the ones I was if I didn't need, I don't need to hear Rock ever say that again in my lifetime, and
Also,
I'll be okay.
the I don't think he ever will. I think he's done with DC. But it's also the tide is turning because after this movie, you're getting a whole new universe.
Yeah, it's just apropos
So
for you.
yeah, it is turning.
I think Safran's a producer on this film, if
Is
I'm
he?
not mistaken. I'm pretty sure. Yes,
I
I
mean, I
think he
know
was
he
a
was on
producer on
Blue
the first
Beetle.
one.
Okay.
I think so.
Oh, was he?
I could be wrong with that, but I think so.
Yeah,
Uh,
but this has no connection to the DC EU
no,
at
that's what
all.
James Bond is saying anyway.
Yeah, which is
Which
weird.
Well, it's because someone asked him about the cameo scene, like the
Oh,
report
the
of Ben
Affleck.
Affleck
Yeah,
and Keaton, and he was like, the tricky thing early on was not knowing whether Aquaman would come out first or come out after the Flash, so we just had to be prepared. At the end of the day, the best thing I would say about this movie is that it is not connected in any way to any of those films. That's the bottom line.
which
When prodded further on the potential appearances of any DCU heroes, Juan simply said no comment. That's no comment right now. You're going to have to wait for the movie to come out.
I don't think we're gonna have any more. Although I wouldn't surprise me if they happen to throw Wonder Woman in there because for whatever reason she's in everything now.
Her theme's not
Um,
playing. I'll not be shocked anymore.
yeah, well, that'd be her final appearance, which sucks, but um, I don't know. Like I'm not holding my breath on any appearances.
They don't mean
I'm still
anything anyway.
chafed. Well, yeah, which is why they should have them, but whatever.
Yeah, they're not like you're like bring them back because it's one. Well, sorry, I'm
Look,
not speaking for rational people, but
the cameos in the Flash would have been fine. They could have been
mhm.
there because we all know as fans of the stuff after Aquaman, it doesn't matter anymore. That stuff is gone. But that cameo at the very end of Flash with Affleck in the warehouse yelling at Barry would have just been a perfect end to
Yep,
the universe had
yep.
that been the final movie.
They
Like
should have
should
been
have been.
switched, but
Exactly.
we don't make the decisions, Joe.
No, we
Uh,
don't.
yeah. So again, I'm excited for Aquaman. I thought this couldn't have been a better trailer.
Yeah,
Just
fun.
cap it off. Are you excited? Do you think you're going to enjoy this film more than the second one or more than the first one? Uh, where are you at right now?
I mean, I'm looking forward to seeing it. It's the final DC movie for. I mean, we'll have Joker 2 next year, but then it's gonna be it for a year, if not longer because of the strikes.
Hmm.
So I'm excited for it on that end. I think it will be. We don't have to have all the backstory or not the backstory, the origin story like we did in the first one, so we can. One thing I do always like about a sequel movie is you can just skip all past that and get right to the meat of it all. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Am I excited? Well, I think it's gonna be better than the first one. I don't know. I'm it's one. I'm in that limbo of I want to be excited for this movie, but it's also the final DCU movie or DCEU movie, and I don't want it to end.
Yeah, I hear you there, Joe. Because most of my favorite DC films came from this era here, but I, for one, am really excited. I think this could be better than the first film. Black Manta as the pure villain throughout this whole thing is something I'm really happy about. We don't have the
Black
family
Manta looks badass.
squabble. We don't have the finding the mom. None of that stuff. That's all already dealt with. Like Joe said, when you
Well,
get past the.
we'll have
No,
family
I'm just saying.
squabble with Orm and Aquaman.
Oh yeah, but
Martha.
that's more like trying to, but like eventually become brothers. That's what I'm assuming is going to
Yeah,
happen here, which I would really enjoy. It's not something that's going to make me roll my eyes. And again, we don't have the finding mother part. She's back. I'm all in for this. I think Black Manta looks awesome and even better than before. We know the actor takes it seriously, so
yeah.
uh, again, I love when we have villains that are motivated like he is, where I don't have to, where I can't see through your motivation, like thinking like, why are you doing this? This makes perfect sense to me. Why he's going after Aquaman and won't stop until he's dead, and it also makes perfect sense looking at it from Aquaman's way. Like Joel pointed out earlier, dude, you put yourself in your own situation. Like your father shot grenade launchers at me in the sub. You came to rob the sub. I just got up and left instead of picking up that torpedo that fell on you.
Yeah, I got out the people I was supposed to get out.
Hmm.
You guys made your own bed.
The ones that you wouldn't have cared about once you robbed the sub and left.
Exactly.
So, yeah, that's why, again, full on for this. Can't wait for that film to drop, and we will be covering it, of course. So, Joe, we have some news, I guess, to catch up on. Not quite catch up on. It's been a slow week. Same over on Marvel Alliance last week. So
I think it's gonna be slow weeks for a while. I think we're gonna have a lot of
yeah,
that coming up here soon.
yeah, we're gonna have to do some creative topics to get the things flowing. We do have a cool trailer that we're going to talk about in a little bit, a different trailer. But before we do that, of course, we have the Blue Beetle update, the box office update. Blue Beetle apparently is doing great on the weekends. It grossed 2.5 million on the fifth 3-day weekend at the U.S. box office. An excellent hold once again, dropping just 33.5% from the previous weekend, despite losing another 400 theaters. The DCEU film hit 67.3 million cumulative in the U.S., eyeing a 70 to 75 million run. What do you think about this performance? Good, great, just
I mean,
well enough.
if I think it's fine, but
Yeah,
I also understand that they wanted to do gangbusters. They want to do 100 million plus. I mean, sounds like it's barely gonna make 70. So I'm happy with it. Like I enjoy the movie. I'm looking forward to buying it when it comes out on Blu-ray.
same.
Because I'll get, because it's DCEU, I'll get the steel case because I have steel case for literally all the rest of them. So yeah.
I for one, I think it's doing well. The legs are the thing that I appreciate for this film. Like it had some legs. Obviously, it didn't make the money that one would hope. It's
Sure.
the DCU's taken some hits the last few films. I hope Aquaman can change that, just like it came off a
I
not so
mean,
successful film the last time.
we thought Flash was going to do big numbers, and look what happened there.
I'll never be
Um,
fooled by Tom Cruise again.
well, it's not even just Tom Cruise. I just
Um,
figured we all figured because of
Just a
Michael
positive
Keaton.
word, the positive word of mouth as well. We now know that that should have been, if you wanted to do the numbers they wanted to do, like a la No Way Home, you need to have Bale be in it for quite a bit of time. I assume would have gotten the generation that, like, I think Bale's is the go between the Keaton generation and this generation.
Yeah, but I don't think Christian Bale would have ever done that.
Oh no, I'm not saying he would have done it at all. I'm just saying I think that's the only Batman that would have got the numbers that they I would have hoped. Maybe I don't know.
But
Just
I
does
don't
more of
see.
getting
I
him
don't
back,
know.
but
Like I don't even know if we would have done that.
maybe
But who
not.
knows? Who knows?
Just maybe another universe, another multiverse. Christian Bale didn't do Thor 4 and came back to do this instead. Uh, but like I said, good. Just keep making some money, Blue Beetle, until you go to the digital. Like Joe said, can't wait to buy
Yeah.
that. Just give me a second here, Joe, to clue up our next thing, a trailer that we have for the series, the animated series, Kite Man. Hell yeah! Which I'm excited to see this, Joe.
it looks fun. Before we get there, Randy put here, Blue
Hmm.
Beetle needed to make 300 million plus to break even in theatrical run. It will make 135 globally, a few million more than Shazam. Yeah, I thought it was supposed to be high on the
I thought it
just
was
to
200.
break even. Either way, we know it's never going to get that, which
No,
sucks.
God.
But yeah, I wish it would have done better, but I also feel like DC shot themselves in the foot having Gunn announce, and we've talked about this numerous
Yes,
times.
we were excited for
So
the announcement, but again, it might have cut the legs out from under some of these films, knowing that this was it. His universe is going to start with Superman later on down the line.
correct.
So, Joe, is this shared?
Yes, it is.
Okay, let's cue up Kite Man. Hell yeah! So we just get narration of Kite Man first, just talking to people in the supervillain bar.
He dreamed about being a villain,
Yeah, and
then
his
talking about not
mom.
masturbating.
Yeah, his mom's like, "You're you're masturbating." He's like, "I'm not masturbating," and she said, "That feels like something a masturbator would say."
Uh,
And then we get one thing I do enjoy about this, Joe. A lot of these we've seen all these villains, well,
oh
most of these
yeah, like
villains in Harley Quinn, the animated series, but this is the Kite Man from that series too. I should have
correct.
booked that. We see Bane in the background right away when Kite Man's getting ready to take off, and he knocks Bane over. So maybe I don't remember who this was. I know Kite Man
Uh,
left with her.
Golden Glider.
Yeah, Golden Glider. So Kite Man's with her, and we get to see, I guess, that relationship play out a little bit
Yeah.
here. And Kite
I
Man
mean,
gets somebody's
again,
whole body tore over him.
it's perfect. It's perfect for the Harley Quinn world because
Yes.
this is literally stuff Harley Quinn would do or would
And
happen in that.
I
I
don't know
believe
who
that
this
is
is.
Tracy 13. I could be
Okay.
wrong. I could be very wrong, but sounds like Magic's gonna be playing a role at least for
Yes.
an episode or two.
Oh my god, Golden Glider is just vicious.
Although,
We get
okay,
Kite
never mind.
Man helping Golden Glider fight this giant cat who's wearing a shirt from the bar.
So that makes me think of the Calabac. No, it's not Calabac. Crap. Oh,
And we have
who's the witch boy?
oh my god, Clarion.
Clarion, and then
Clarion.
his cat. But
Yes.
I don't think it's his cat.
No, it could be. Let's not rule that out. But we do have the reopening, so I'm assuming that Kite Man buys the bar and
Sure.
is going to run the bar, which I guess we'll get that play out in the first episode. And we get
There's
Harley
Harley.
make an appearance here.
Yep.
Golden Glider's not a fan, it looks like.
That's
And
fair.
then we have
Dark Side.
Dark Side. That's something I didn't expect to see in the Kite
In
Man
Kite
show.
Man of all places.
And he's talking about preparing for an all-out war. So like he may be our main villain for the season.
Those guys harmonizing.
Which I don't know if Kite Man has to save us for Darkseid, we're screwed. We don't have a chance.
Well, I don't know. We'll see.
Enjoyable though, like you said.
Oh,
If you're a fan of the Harley Quinn shows, you're gonna enjoy this.
I watched the final episode of this season of Harley Quinn with my girlfriend, and the trailer popped up after that, and she looked at it, she watched it, and I mean she knows Kite Man from the Harley Quinn show, but she's like, "They're making a show for him." I'm like, "Yeah, you don't have to watch it. Don't worry about it." she wasn't excited for it, which understandable.
It's not going to go past the season, I don't think. Like this is stuff that
I'm surprised they got one season at all.
I thought it was going to be a mini thing. Like I didn't think it was getting a full season until I saw the tweet there. I was like, "Oh,
I mean, look, it's possible.
Yeah.
We'll see. This may be a surprise hit, and
we were wrong about My Adventures with Superman. So hand up here. Can be wrong again.
Exactly.
But Kite Man, hell yeah! Again, really enjoyable. Give me all the villain joke stuff that we enjoyed from Harley Quinn. Just give me more of that here.
I love seeing Bane. So
yes. It doesn't look like it's turning out too well for him to start off there.
So it's just just normal day for him.
Yes. Sojo, Frank Grillo confirms that Creature Commando will not be delayed and will premiere in 2024. He put it up on his Instagram. No delay for Creature Commandos, all ready to go as per James Gunn. I'm so pumped for people to see this. And he has hashtag Rick Flag, and then under it has, no, Frank Grillo is not scabbing here. Animated series are completely separate from the WGA and SAG after strike.
I'm also wondering if most of it was already done, if not all of it was already done before the SAG went on.
I assume
he's saying that it's separate, which I understand, but you're also doing.
I don't think he can promote
acting.
it. I don't think he can promote it like on the circuit.
But that's what I'm saying. I think they did all the recordings before SAG went on strike. I could be wrong because that they record, they have a lot of stuff done in the can, sometimes a year in advance.
Yeah.
So, but if not, if that's not the case, if over the last couple months they were able to go in and record because voice acting and animation is different than is separate from the SAG and the writers. Great, cool. That means we're going to get a lot more animated shows. That means all the animated stuff is still on the table, which means we could be getting a My Adventures with Superman season 2 earlier than we thought.
Yes, which again,
Also means we could get another season of Harley Quinn or another season of uh, Kite Man.
I was going to say, don't
Possibly.
tease the Young Justice fans here, Joe.
If strike goes on long enough, who knows?
So James Bond talked about the research, really, uh, that he just said that additional photography has become a routine part of producing big budget movies, and he directed a comparatively small amount of new material after the main shoot. He clarifies of the situation: we have big actors in this movie, and everyone's schedule is really hard, so we had to break up our shooting schedule into sections. We shoot a bit here now because this actor is available, and then we'll do another shoot because this guy's available. People are like, oh, they're doing a whole bunch of different shoots. No, if we actually combine them all together, it's actually not that many number of days at all. So that's essentially all he said there about that. He uh, said that it was all the second movie was always going to be Arthur and Orm story. The first one was a romance action adventure. The second one is a bromance action adventure. So that's the reason why there wasn't much of Amber Heard's Mira in this trailer or in this film. I don't know if this is the case. S. Bubs asked, do we have a release date for Batman Capes Crusader? All I heard was 2024.
So I just looked it up, and this is coming from Collider on July 9th of 2023. Since being picked up by Amazon, no release date has been released for Batman Cape Crusader as of this writing. Again,
Ooh.
July 9th. The show is still expected to release by the end of 2023, but there still has not yet to be a hard set release date or release schedule.
It won't be releasing in 2023 if we don't know who's voicing Batman now. That will not happen. In my humble opinion.
That's
Sorry.
fair.
Yeah,
That's fair.
I feel like it'll be in 20, but this could have been July with the strike ongoing. I don't know how long the strike's been.
The writer's strike was going on since March. The SAG, I believe, I
feel like
think
it's been on and going all
in
summer.
June.
Yeah. That sounds
So
right. Yeah. Again, I just think it's James Bond's film. Sorry to people like criticizing about not much Amber Heard in the film.
It's Aquaman and Orm. Like she is there to, and maybe we were saying how Manta will kidnap the baby.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe Mira takes the baby back to Zebel. Where was it?
Yep, Zebel is the one. I think that her father maybe. I'm not even sure if we'll see Dolph Lundgren in this.
I
film.
haven't heard. I doubt it.
Yeah,
who knows?
I think he was sick for a while there, but he got better. So again, maybe we'll see him. Maybe not.
Better.
So Joe, before we jump into our final two news topics for tonight, we'll take our final ad break of the evening. Listeners, we're an ad-supported network. We don't pick the ads or the volume. I'm going to give you a quick 3 count to adjust your volume, and we'll be right back in 3, 2, 1. And we're back. So just a couple news items before we get into our Smallville retro recap. From today's Old Man Yells at Clouds category, Alan Moore says he's asked DC to send all his royalty checks for films and TV based on his work to Black Lives Matter. Woo! I don't really feel with the recent films that they have stood by what I assumed were their original principles. I want to say I'm really glad that he's donating all his royalty checks to Black Lives Matter. I'm happy for that.
Yep.
But let's not try and pretend that they stood. Their original principles were that wholeheartedness or of kindness before in the 80s or 90s.
He was shaking the proverbial tree with the stuff he was putting out.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, my dude, you've hated what DC's done with your stuff. They have all the rights to it. Literally nothing you can do. You get that royalty check because they re-release your a Watchmen omnibus or something, or a absolute edition of your.
Or Zack Snyder makes the Watchmen, or you make a HBO Watchmen series.
That's what I'm saying. You get the royalties because they still have they're making the stuff so that they don't lose the rights. Because once they lose the rights, they go back to you, and then you can do literally whatever you want with them. They're not going to do that. So, yes, thank you for. I mean, he doesn't need the money, obviously, because he
Didn't the
has
Fables
secure.
creator give up his stuff this past week?
It's not that he gave it up.
Well, put it in the public domain.
He apparently had a falling out with DC and put all of Fable in the public domain. So we more than likely will see some Fable stuff because I guarantee the minute that hit,
Well, we got
every
we got
company is
blood.
trying to grab at that.
We get that blood Winnie the Pooh horror shit. So we'll definitely
Oh,
get.
we're getting a sequel to that too. I need to
I
watch the first
know
one.
Tigger.
None of that. Well,
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I saw like a little thing here where like the
okay.
thing was Tigger showing up for
Oh,
the next
geez.
one.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh
But no.
yeah.
What he's doing is admirable, but you've also hated everything that DC has done with your stuff. So like,
And they
you
weren't. They
you said it correctly. Old man yelling at clouds. Like,
essentially like I just remember the Simpson thing where he just
yeah,
Abe Simpson
Grandpa.
is shaking at the cloud and yelling, and that's what it reminds me of. And yes, Elmore, you could have just said the I donate it because they didn't want to take royalty checks anymore. But you got to go with stuff like original principles and all this kind of stuff. And sorry, but the head of DC is Jim Lee, so I don't really DC Comics. So I don't really like, you know, seems all in all like a pretty nice guy. Just
One
you know,
one thing that I found interesting over my years of covering comics over on my other show, Comic Rundown. We cover the book called Miracle Man. Now, I was unaware that Miracle Man was written by Alan Moore back in like the 70s on a comic series, a magazine series in England. When we covered it, I always, credit the author, the artist, all that
yeah.
stuff. The credits for the writer, for the author, is original writer. And I'm like, I don't know what that means. I found out it's because Alan Moore, not only does he have a beef with DC, but he's just like his work gets made, and then he hates when people actually like it. I guess I don't know.
Yeah,
So
he's
yeah,
just a non-bird, Joe. He's just
he's something.
created some classic stories, but again, sometimes just wants to complain for the sake of complain, and I
I
think
kind of think so.
yeah. So our final news story before we get into our Smallville retro recap. Joe kind of alluded to this a little bit, but we have My Adventures with Superman getting a season 2 official announcement.
Yay!
My Adventure with Superman season 2 is already in progress. At the end of My Adventure with Superman finale debut on Adult Swim, an announcement was made regarding the series' sophomore season progress, only including one still promo shot of the core trio of characters. The video featured the series title card along with the text "Season 2 in production."
Love it.
Adult Swim and Max initially confirmed development for Season 2 only one day after the first episode premiered on July 7th, as a producer said the studio ordered 2 seasons. So,
Okay.
yeah, we know that given the series of voice actor, could potentially hit Adult Swim and Max early in 2024, with the likely time frame being sometime in the summer, just the way it happened for season 1.
Fine.
So yeah, sign me up.
Yeah.
I'm ready to see Brainiac and Zod. Gimme. I wonder will we see Batman? That's the thing that I'm a little peculiar. Got my curiosity peaked. Will we see Batman in this before we see my Kate Crusader, Batman Kate Crusader?
No, I think they're gonna hold off on any sort of crossover.
Aw.
I know, but it's called My Adventures with Superman, not My Adventures with Justice League.
No, but my adventure with Superman. Superman has all these. Superman the animated series was Superman the animated series, but we had all kinds of other heroes show up.
Yeah,
They're
but
going to be more in season
they
3.
already had
Season
those
4.
templates because of Batman the Animated Series.
Touche.
Okay.
We're both excited, and we can't wait to review the next season when it comes out. We will absolutely be talking about it here as well because we really enjoyed that first season.
Yeah.
So, Joe, final thing on the docket for us, our Smallville retro recaps for this week. Season 3, episode 9, Asylum. I gotta say, these 2 parts were one of my favorite 2-parters of the season, of the
Yeah.
series to date. I just love Asylum Lex, mental institution Lex. What do you think about this episode, Joe?
rewatching it, I really enjoyed it. Um, I will say that the asylum seemed like it was in a office building, which is probably not the best place for it. Also, there was a like an alcove or like a there it seemed like they're on the second floor because there was like a barrier and then like open to the first floor for all of these inmates to just wander around. Really? That's a bad place for that. Like all they got, you just have one wrong move and all right, one's going over the edge, over the balcony onto the first floor. They dead. Regardless, love the episode. Having um the characters come back, John Taylor Thomas, whenever I think it was one of the Ashmores, can't remember which one, and Wolf Boy from Teen Wolf or wherever the heck he was from. Having them come back was fun. Seeing Ian Somerhalder come in as a love interest for Lana, I completely forgot about that, and it makes sense because like you see him here for a couple episodes, and then he gets his big break on Lost for the next, you know, 2 years. Um, so that was kind of fun to
Then he
see.
goes on to the worst show of all time that I've had to watch
Vampire
from
Diaries.
time to time. Yeah.
Okay. And look, that got like what 6 or 7 seasons. I don't know if you call it the worst show.
It's terrible, Joe. When you've had to see it a couple times, I didn't want to see it any times. No times. There's a vampire show that's a bit more serious called True Blood on HBO. Go watch that.
Um, Regardless, it was interesting though. Like I did forget about Clark showing Lex his powers,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
only
Same.
for Lex to lose all of that
The
by the end of
memories.
it. Yeah,
It's so sad. This episode reminded me of just how disappointed I was with Clark in these two episodes. Like, it makes sense. You need to hide your secret. If you can't tell Lex, we see what Lex turns out like. But part of me thinks Lex might not have turned out the way he did if he did share a secret, help him out when, like, this time here, and not have him
maybe.
have mine were white. But
But Pete also brought up a good point. It's like I have to purposely make sure to say meteor rock versus kryptonite. I gotta
yeah,
make sure to say this. I gotta make sure to do it this way. I'm protecting your secret because I'm your friend. Lex Luthor is not going to do that.
no, he's going to want you to step out and use your powers for his benefit and as
More than
well as your
likely,
own.
yeah.
So, again, it, you see it both ways here, but I really enjoyed this episode. I was like you, it reminded me of I just remember watching this as it came out. I love the three villains that come back.
Yep.
That was always a favorite of
When they all
mine. I love.
turned on each other, like
Yeah, they last
shocking.
like 5 minutes. I'm like, "Oh my god!" Like you brought some of these guys back for what one scene, and they talk about it on Talkville. Like,
I was gonna
what
ask about that.
one
Yeah,
day, $10,000, and you're out of here. That's what they were talking about. I'm like,
done. Perfect.
okay, okay,
Also, can we talk about? I mean, I know he survived, but Clark shoving what's his name into the
generator.
generator, like he freaking killed him.
And also, like, okay, that's a bold thing. You don't know if that's going to 100% give your powers back, and you're just like, let me throw this guy in generator
But
here.
also, like, I understand that him getting the shock got his powers from Clark. Um, you literally just you got struck by lightning 4 times, my dude. 4 times.
And they say lightning
How?
doesn't strike twice.
Mm,
Only in Superman's case. But no,
fair enough.
again, really enjoyed this. I love how the Jonathan Taylor Thomas's character, can't remember his name now, takes out the guy who hates meteor freaks by
Yeah.
pushing the bar down at him. That was vicious.
Also, you see him come in. Um, I understand that you're trying to be like all macho and just I'm gonna keep working out. Although I'm pretty sure he actually what's the oh crap, I can't remember the term.
Bench press.
Well, he's doing the bench press, but he returned it to like the start position. Like he put it back on the racked it. He
Yeah,
racked
right.
him. Like I heard it rack, and then all of a sudden, oh, now he's holding it so he can get choked out.
It feels
Also,
like
also he's
I think the two guys pushed it to try and push down. He pushed his
maybe
hand up to try and
maybe
it didn't last very long.
can I also say how much of a little bitch he is because he gets choked out in like 3 seconds
Yeah.
from the bar.
Well,
Like,
we don't have to like him anyway because he's such a dickhead in the two episodes, and
sure,
he shot Clark.
sure.
Yeah, but again, they're defeated, and like Joe said, they turn on each other pretty quickly, which really sucks. But again, they're only left with one.
But I
Uh,
do remember, like, this was an episode that I remember, like, even when we started talking about season 2 and all these characters showed up, I'm like, oh yeah, I remember him coming back. I remember him coming back.
mhm.
I thought there was a fourth one.
I did as well, but no, that wasn't the case. I
No,
again, some of the stuff I really enjoyed. Rosenbaum talked about talking with all the extras in the asylum about like, he said Beeman said, "Do you want to talk to him, or do you not want to talk to him about what they should do?" And he went and talked to them. They all had their own individual things. He said it was worked wicked, which I thought it played out really well watching the episode.
sure.
Uh,
Until somebody throws somebody else over the ledge because hey, why not? There's a big open pit right there in an asylum. Like, I'm sorry, there was an office building. Come on,
yeah,
make a better
and
asylum,
that is true. Joe is right there. And Lionel, how evil Lionel is in this
dude.
episode, dude! Like saying, like, "I'm sorry, Lex. I don't want to do it to you." Lex saying he's okay, and then him like, "No, sorry, you're not okay." And Lex flipping out at him, shouting. This episode was fantastic. It was a tour de force for Rosenbaum's acting as Lex here. I like you said, really enjoyed this. This brought me right back to when I was watching this growing up. If
Yeah,
I'm being completely honest.
I remember it was great. Good episode.
And then we get Lex at the end when he comes out of it, like, "Hi, Clark. It's so nice to
I
see you."
definitely felt
Uh,
bad. Like, yes, he's like still friends. Obviously, it's just like the last, I don't know what, like week or two. Well, no, because he was in there for a month. So
he's
probably
on
the
the
last like
island too.
the last like year. The
He's
last
in a rough.
year was erased. That sucks. That does.
But we all know Lex. Once Lex finds out this happened, he's not going to take this lightly. So I can't wait to watch going forward. I vaguely remember him finding out and not being happy about it and trying to do whatever he could to take down Lionel. So I'm
Which
really
I think yeah, I vaguely remember
I
that too.
I know for a fact there is one thing that's stuck in my head from the finale of season 3 is someone taking Lionel Luthor's luscious locks and shaving them all off into prison. So
Yeah,
I don't
I
know how
think
we get
so.
there, but I do
Well,
think
if
so.
I remember correctly, I think it's because there's something with Chloe as well. Because the very end of the season, her house blows up.
I think she hears Lionel confess to killing his parents for the insurance money
Okay.
to start his businesses. That's what I think. I could be wrong, but that's what I think.
I mean, we'll
Uh,
get to it. We've got like,
again,
I don't know, 15 episodes till then.
really, like I said, really enjoyable episode. It sucks at the end when he doesn't have, and the Ian Somerhalder, Adam Knight of it all. That was a much to do about nothing relationship. I don't even think it
Well,
lasted
not
an
really.
entire season.
No, because like I said, it's only like 6 or 7 episodes because he is going from this
Too
to
lost,
Lost, where he's going to be on there for a whole season.
which
And then dies in season 2. Spoiler alert
well,
for
now
a
you know, now you
15-year-old
know,
show.
now you know. So, Joe, again, this was really enjoyable. I can't wait to
10-year-old
go
show,
through
whatever.
these episodes. We have, I think, Whisper is the next one.
I believe so.
So, uh, looking forward to talking about that with you next week. I think that's everything. All the T's crossed, all the I's dotted.
Yeah, sure.
Listeners, we'll be back next week with more DC goodness. Later, everyone.
Bye, y'all.